Get me that signal. We need more power.
Our whole gaming group was in a half-bored state. It seemed like 14 billion years had passed since we began to play. Then Bert began to drool while Billy Joe read all the rules, and Cousin Paulie played it cool. He built a wall.
He built some pyramids.
Apathy and misery became the best in history. It all started with the Big Bang.
Game!
Here we have the Big Bang Theory party game all set up and ready to play. It comes with these blue cards, which are the answers. It comes with red cards, which are the different categories. Here are the rules. Pretty small, so you'll be up and playing in 5 minutes. It comes with these point tokens. These point tokens get handed out by the ref, depending on who he thinks had the best answer and the worst answer. And there's not much else to it, and plus these envelopes, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So let's pretend that this little crab guy here is the ref for this turn. You just pick a ref randomly at the beginning of the game, and then it just rotates around until all the stacks of point tokens are gone. Each player has a hand of 7 cards. The ref grabs I'll show you that in a minute. There's 2 different types of red cards. There's the experimental formula cards and then the regular ones. Okay, so we'll look at the regular ones first. Always the perfect solution. So, and there's a little quote. How about we buy you this robot and then we all go home? Penny. So you look at all your cards, your hand of cards, and you pick what you think will fit the best. You can go for funny, you can go for literal. It's up to you. Always a perfect solution. Let's say really long hug. Okay, and then each other player, except the ref, picks a card, and we'll just do this randomly here. And once all the cards are picked, the ref picks up the stack of cards, he mixes them up, so he doesn't know who did what, and then he looks at them. Always a perfect solution, Rabbit Whisperer, Princess Who Saves Monkeys, Really Long Hug, Radioactive Rat, and Slumber Party. And then the ref puts them in order of what she thinks is the best and the worst. So we're going to say the best was Princess Who Saves Monkeys, then a Radioactive Rat, then a Really Long Hug, then a Slumber Party, and then a Rabbit Whisperer. Then he takes a stack of points and he puts them on there in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you adjust the number of point tokens. Like, you don't have to have all the way up to 5. If you have a lower number of players, you could have only up to 4 in there for points. So then each player grabs their card plus their point token, and that's how many points they get for the round. So I get 3, 4, and then 5. And then that's the end of that turn. It passes to the next player, and they become the referee. And so this player will then get some points. And you can arrange the stack so that there's an even number of rounds so that everybody gets the same chance to get the same number of points. You know, you can take out a stack or 2 if you need to, just so it's an even number and split up. That's basically how the game is played. The other thing is the experimental formula cards. And if those come up, what you do is you pick 2 answers from your hand of 7 cards. And once you use or play a card from your stack, you immediately draw back up to 7 cards, no matter how many you use. So, made for each other. So what you're doing this time is you're picking 2 answers from your hand that would fit. So, let's see. Made for each other, attractive female gamer, and personal robot. That's what I'm going to say. Then I draw 2 cards to get back up to 7. And then with these, you take these little sleeves here, and you put your 2 cards inside the sleeve so that you can keep your cards together. Right? And then, again, they put a stack of these all in front of the ref. And then the ref takes the stacks and takes the cards out 2 at a time. and does the same thing. Awards points for the one that he thinks is the best. The combination that he thinks is the best. The only other thing in the game is some of the blue cards are these Bazinga cards. And how that works is everybody plays as usual, but when it's time to reveal the answers, somebody goes, Bazinga! And plays out a Bazinga card. What that does is it forces the ref to flip up a brand new category. So the category is going to change, but the players can't change their answer. And this can lead to some pretty humorous answers. So let's say it was originally always a perfect solution, and then it changes to, I'd pay good money to have this trained. Well, in my case, really long hug wouldn't have made any sense at all with the new one. But the player who played Radioactive Rat might have got more points, might have got the 5 points, because that's actually fits that much better and it's funnier. You keep playing until you run out of stacks of point tokens. Everybody adds up their points. Whoever has the most points wins the game. There's also rules for game variations. Each player can pick a favorite character from the show. Whenever you're the referee, try to evaluate from the perspective of the character. And then it's got a team up. If you have a larger group of players, players can play teams. That is it. That's how you play the Big Bang Theory party game. The Big Bang Theory party game from Cryptozoic Entertainment reminds me a lot of Cards Against Humanity, with an important difference. While I would give Cards Against Humanity an R rating, I'd give the Big Bang Theory party game a PG-13 rating, kind of like the show itself. On the minus side, that means it isn't quite as funny to play as Cards Against Humanity, but it definitely has the feel of the TV show, so it's nicely thematic in that way. I wouldn't go playing this as a family-type game. There's no doubt that this is a party game, best for groups of like-minded individuals, with a few drinks thrown in as a flavor enhancer. There's plenty of adolescent humor to go around with cards like Fart, and Boobies, and Girls Who Throw Poop at You. There are tons of geek culture references like The Flash, zombies, and giant killer robots. And there's also a lot of cards that are pulled right from the show, like Cigarette Smoking Monkey, a flamingo on Ritalin, the Pope in a jetpack, and Secret Agent Laser Obstacle Chess. There are PG-13 cards as well, and if you're really easily embarrassed or offended, then you might not have a good time with this game. Cards like Menage a Trois, Horny Engineer, or Gets Me Hot and Bothered. Nothing too overt, there's no swearing, just mild innuendo flying around the room. And to be fair, after going through all the cards, I only found a handful that fit into that category. But then again, sometimes those are the funniest cards of all. It depends on your group. I like the simple way of awarding points, so that everyone gets at least something. The cards are supposed to be referring to whatever you believe that the current referee would answer. So in the case of a card that I mentioned before, the Gets Me Hot and Bothered, you're supposed to answer what you think would get the ref, whoever the current ref is, hot and bothered. Although there is a neat variant where each person plays a different character from the show, and then you would be guessing what would get that character hot and bothered, rather than the player. The Bazinga cards are really fun, and can be hilarious to play. They completely change the category without changing the answers, so you can go from the all-powerful category to the doable category, and then laugh when someone reveals Tweety Bird as an answer. Good times, good times. There are times when the cards in your hand just don't work and you can't find a funny answer. You should be able to discard a few cards and draw some new ones if you're in a rut. Maybe trading in a 1-value chip would allow you to discard your whole hand and draw a new one. This would give the players who aren't doing so well a chance to get a fresh start. The caveat, of course, would be that you would go through the stack of cards that much faster. The little sleeves were a great idea that allows you to submit 2 answers and not have to worry about mixing the cards up, and it keeps them confidential until it's time to reveal the answers. We all liked them. And finally, each card also has a picture and a quote from the show on it, and these themselves can be really entertaining. We had the ref read the quotes off of each answer, and sometimes they got a laugh and, well, sometimes not. But it was fun. Overall, I liked the Big Bang Theory party game. Fans of the show should get a kick out of this game as it is nicely thematic. Just remember that it really isn't for the kids, or even with the kids in the room. Thank you for joining me in this review of the Big Bang Theory party game from Cryptozoic Entertainment. Let me know if you found this review helpful by leaving a comment or sending me an email at elliot_miller@voiceofe.com. Make sure to subscribe to the Voice of E channel on YouTube, as I'll have a lot more thematic game reviews and board game giveaways. You won't want to miss any of them, would you? No. Please tell your friends to check out the Voice of E, and hopefully they will subscribe too. Thanks again, and until next time, keep your mind free.
Get me that 6. We need more pounds.